Curtis with Smart Social here. I am on the road today doing some video shooting and some other things that we need to get done. But I want to take some time and talk about the whole debacle around Bud Light and the things that are going on with that. You've probably noticed that they got in a lot of trouble the other week about putting together some marketing that they decided to do. And now today, they have been releasing a new series of videos and commercials to basically say, we're sorry, sort of like trying to keep their past customers with them. So if you've been living under a rock or you haven't seen this at all, let me give you a quick update on this. Bud Light historically has been all the Budweiser products basically have been primarily focused on a typical American man, basically. Somebody who loves NASCAR, somebody who loves hunting and shooting and fishing, somebody who's politically probably a little more conservative in their values, but not necessarily. Somebody who loves old America, who loves cowboys and the West or things like that. And that's what they've done in the past. Basically, the Clydesdale horses is a very common one to show that the history of their brand, the olden version, the old traditional version of it. We've come up through the generations, things like that. Their marketing person, the person they have over all their marketing, made a decision that they wanted to update the brand. They wanted to improve the brand. They wanted to move it in a more modern direction. So what they did is they partnered up with a transgender person who has been transitioning for a year, 365 days, and used that um, milestone in that person's life as the marketing opportunity. So they made several commercials and ads and videos around this person who is traditionally a man who's now a woman who's transitioned to a woman, has just spent a year being a woman. And they partnered with them, showed a bunch of different scenes and commercials. I'm sure you've seen them. If not, go to YouTube and you can find them. um, and they wanted to refresh the brand. They wanted to modernize it and bring it up, and transgenderism and other topics like that are great topics to talk about these days. So as far as the popular discussions that are out there, so that's what they decided to do. Well, the challenge was is that goes against basically what their major values of their brand has been for decades. That's not the type of customer that they've been attracting for so many years. So I don't know the data that they use to decide that this would be a good idea to put this in place and to do this new branding. They even put the image of the person that the transgender person, they put their image on the can itself as well to promote it. uh, but goes back to one of the more fundamental things about marketing. Okay, marketing is about putting a message out. Marketing is about knowing who your customer is. Who's the ideal customer? Who do you want to talk to? How do we get to them? How do we talk to them? uh, this was a major, not just a brand update, but this is basically an entirely different customer update that they have done. Whether they intended this or not is a whole nother story. But all the people who traditionally have been drinking Budweiser products, the white male, middle ages, more rednecky, more conservative, does farms, have guns, goes hunting and fishing, family man, those kinds of values. That is not the customer they were going after with this new commercial. Now, granted, I do admit that in today's world, any publicity is good publicity, unfortunately. You look at politicians, even the bad ones, because of their publicity, they get a lot of eyeballs and views, and then people think about them and vote for them. So, could that be the strategy? They wanted to stir up controversy. That is actually a possibility these days. That they stirred it up just so they could go through this process and get tons of free publicity out of it. But I'm not convinced that that's what they were trying to do, because the next part of their strategy showed even just as much, if not more, lack of understanding of their marketing and their customer base than anything. So this came out. There was lots of controversies about the whole switch to using this transgender person as a spokesperson for Bud Light. The it, it is, again, it's a whole nother customer base that they're going after. Now, here's the thing though, is when that came back, people stopped buying the drinks. They stopped buying Bud Light. They wouldn't buy Budweiser products. They were destroying Budweiser products. There were people who they're the distributors, the salesmen who go out and check the stores and keep the stores stocked and make sure that it's ordered in and everything's taken care of, are realizing that they don't have a big they don't nobody's ordering because the end customer is not buying the product. So that tells you that the person who's predominantly bought their product is not the person that they targeted with that ad. If you're spending money targeting your marketing without knowing who it is you're going after, you are wasting your money. You need to have it targeted. You need to make sure that you know who your customer is. So here's the thing that happened with them. Of course, they lost, I think, like a little over 30% of their stock value dropped. They lost revenue. They've lost a lot of opportunities because of this change. So Budweiser came out with a commercial just recently, just yesterday, in fact, over the weekend. It was released that showed the traditional Clydesdale horses being shot, showing footage of them at different historical places around the country, talking about traditional values, talking about the tradition, how Budweiser has been around and is a strong tradition in America, and yay, America, kind of a thing. And it's caused even more backlash, even more backlash. Because again, they're not admitting they made a mistake. They're not admitting they screwed up. They're trying to whitewash it and trying to get their customers back. Which was dumb. Again, I don't know who's doing their marketing, but they're terrible. This is absolutely terrible. Not only did they first make a change in their marketing without checking with their customers. I mean, honestly, guys, all you had to do is get a bunch of people who drink Budweiser, and I'm sure you've got a ton of followers on Facebook or Instagram or email marketing opportunities to these people. Send them a message talking about a couple ideas that you have and see what the response is. If the response comes back, yeah, that is awesome. We think that'd be a great thing. We'd like to watch those kind of commercials. Great. You've got something now you can work with. If they come back and go, nope, if you run that commercial, I'll leave your product. Well, then you have to make a choice. Are we switching customers or do we want to keep those customers there? So this is something you have to think about. Changing your marketing isn't just about changing a message. It's about changing who your customer is. That is a fundamental point, and you need to always understand that. So they changed their customer, basically. That didn't go well with the past customers because the past customers were doing great. There was no reason to change the past customer. They just unilaterally wanted to update this marketing director wanted to update the brand and make it more modern. Some people would probably call that more woke, maybe, or something like that. Use some of those crazy terms. But here's the thing. Again, they decided we're going to change our marketing and therefore change our customer. And the past customers revolted, which caused lots of loss of sales, lots of problems. This is an issue. This is a big issue that they have to face. So they came out with this new commercial that says, oh, yay, we're still traditional. We're still great. We're here. We love you. And it didn't go over well. A lot of people are mad at it. In fact, if you've watched these videos, if you are that target audience, I'd love to hear from you. What do you think about this whole mess with Bud Light? This is such a crazy thing. Now, here's what I wish they would have done. If, let's just say, okay, the first commercials with the transgender person as a spokesperson, that's done. That's part of history now, basically. Can't change that. As I think it was on Twitter, there was a couple of people that tweeted back to Budweiser saying, hey man, you can't put a genie back in the bottle now. You can't just try to glaze over what you guys have done. What I wish they would have done is had the CEO of Anheuser-Busch or Budweiser have the president or CEO get up and basically do a commercial, whether that's from inside a convenience store or grocery store, standing next to the product going, you guys aren't buying it. We got the message. We screwed up. We're going to can our marketing department and start over or whatever, whatever you want to do that way. We want you back. They could have shot this on an iPhone. They could have shot this for minimal amount of money. And if they would have said, here's the thing, guys, we apologize. The next round is on us. And they just basically, if you want a free beer, you just go to our website, you put in your name and address, and we will actually ship you a cold beer for free. Just ship it straight out to you. Bam. Now you've got all this distribution out there, or we'll create a coupon code. You take it to the store, you grab a bottle of Bud Light or a 6-pack off the shelf, you use that coupon code, we will pay for it, for you basically. Those coupon codes are going to work their way through the system back up to Bud Light. Bud Light will basically just give them a free. Rather than spend all this money, millions and millions and millions of dollars, in actually advertising, if they spent millions and millions and millions of dollars just giving everybody a free beer, that would have probably helped them so much more. And it wouldn't have taken much to do that. Just be honest. Hey guys, we screwed up. We're sorry. Next round's on us. And just give them all a free beer. And then you just cut your old commercials and you keep the original ones going. You keep the new things going. And that's all you have to do. So sometimes in marketing, we oftentimes, this is actually one of the biggest problems you have in marketing, is not that the marketing is ineffective, but that the business applying the marketing is ineffective. That if you're trying to put this in place, you can screw it up more than the marketing itself screws it up. It doesn't necessarily, there are, when you do marketing, there are less effective ways to reach your customers and more effective ways to reach your customers. But again, most ways can still help reach your customers at some point. It's how you do it that makes the difference. Another classic example of this, if you remember Quiznos with their rats, the little singing space rats or whatever those things were called that they used for their commercials, I think that was terrible. It was very memorable as a commercial because we still remember it today, long after Quiznos is gone, but that commercial was a disaster for them. So we have to be careful about that message we're getting across with our marketing. So pay attention to what you're doing, and most commonly and always know who your customer is. What is it that they want to see? What is interesting to them? That is the kind of content you should be building, not just for your ads, but for your social media, for your website, for everything. All your email, everything you do should be focused on, what can this do to help my customer? Can I entertain my customer? Can I educate my customer? Can I help improve their life? That's what you do as a business. The more customers you can help, the better your business gets. That's so fundamental. Focus on the customer. What is the pain you're solving for them? What is the challenge they have in their life? What are you doing for them? And then sell that all day long. That is so important. And know it really, really well, and know that your team knows it to help out. That'll save you so much money in your marketing and help make things more effective for you. Hope you like this video. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on the other social sites as well. Would love to give you more tips and advice to help you to make your marketing even better. Thanks.